Welcome to our revision video on the space race 1957 to 1969 with me, Mr. Brixie, and Theo doing the sound effects. The space race was hugely important in the Cold War in demonstrating technological, ideological and military superiority. From the first satellite in 1957 through the successes of Luna, Laika and Ham the Monkey, right up to the manned space missions of Yuri Gagarin and eventually the successful American landing on the moon in 1969. Space has long been an unexplored area for man, and it wasn't until the Cold War that when both superpowers decided that they would make space exploration a priority, did humankind manage to venture to the stars. The first successful space mission was Sputnik in 1957. This satellite launched into orbit on Vostok 1, flew round the Earth making a beeping noise, beep, 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 which terrified the United States and was great propaganda for the Soviets. Indeed, when Nikita Khrushchev visited the USA in 1958, he gave a small model of Sputnik to President Eisenhower. The Soviet Union then continued to have the lead in the space race with successful space flights involving our canine friends, Laika the dog, who sadly perished on their space flight, and then Belka and Strelka, who went into space successfully then also returned to Earth. One of their puppies was later given to JFK, JFK's wife, as a present. The Americans then began to catch up a little in the space race, and their first animal in space was Ham the monkey.
Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah.
Ham became a celebrity in the United States, demonstrating the successes of the American space mission's ability to catch up with the Russians. The Russians, though, had the next major victory in the space race at the start of the 1960s, when the heroic Yuri Gagarin and later, equally heroic, Valentina Tereshkova became the first man and the first woman in space, both of them demonstrating the triumph of the Soviet ideological and technological machine and showing the Soviet Union were effectively winning the Cold War. Our sound effects became a little bit distorted there. That should have been earlier on. The Americans, though, were set the challenge by their president, President Kennedy, to launch the first mission to the moon. And in 1963, President Kennedy promised that the Americans would win this race to the moon. Not with a monkey,
Ooh ah, ooh ah.
or with a dog, but with a manned space mission to the moon. The moon, after the race into space, became the next big battleground in the Cold War. Eventually, in 1969, the first man on the moon, not Mr. Brixie, but Neil Armstrong, was successful in this. And the Americans look to have won the space race. You can see here the lunar landings. Now, nope, not on Mars. That's next. Now see if you can have a go at these questions here. Hooray!